Everyone feared the billionaire CEO girlfriend, but the new security girl made a difference when The slap didn't land. It froze mid-air. A slim but steady hand wrapped around Mrs. Kemi Lawal's wrist, fingers tightening just enough to stop motion, not enough to beg. The office lobby went dead silent. Air conditioning hummed. Glass walls reflected shock. Phones stopped vibrating. Everyone turned. The person holding her was not a manager, not a supervisor, not someone important. It was Aisha, the new night security guard, young, quiet, headscarf neatly tied, uniform still stiff from recent issue. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't flinch. She simply said, "Don't touch him." The cleaner, barely 19, shaking, eyes glossy with fear, stared at her like she had just stepped out of fire. Mrs. Kemi laughed, a slow, disbelieving laugh. "Do you know who I am?" she asked softly. Aisha didn't release her wrist. "I know what you're doing," she replied. That was worse. Behind them, the glass elevator slid open with a muted ding. Tunde Lawal, founder of Lawal Heights Properties, stepped out and watched everything. No one breathed because one question burned through the room like heat. Who was this woman brave enough to do that? 30 days earlier, Mrs. Kemi Lawal was perfection. Charity luncheons, women empowerment panels, photos with orphanage children. To the world, she was elegance. Inside the company, she was fear. Cleaners worked without contracts. Guards stood 12-hour shifts, unpaid overtime. Interns learned to lower their eyes. Nobody complained. Jobs were scarce. Abuja was unforgiving. And she was engaged to the boss. That made her untouchable. Aisha arrived quietly, transferred from Ilorin with a stamped letter and nothing else. Her father needed dialysis twice a week. Her teaching job had vanished when the school closed. This security role, overnight shifts, poor pay, was survival. On her first night, an older guard pulled her aside. "If Madam shouts, bow. If she insults you, apologize. If she raises her hand, look away." Aisha nodded. She listened. But that night, lying awake in the staff room, she made a decision she didn't announce. She would endure insults. She would endure hunger. But she would not watch someone be broken. The trigger came fast. A company laptop disappeared. Mrs. Kemi stormed into the lobby, heels sharp against marble. She locked the doors, lined everyone up. Her eyes landed on Ibrahim, the youngest cleaner. "You," she said, "you stole it." "I didn't," he whispered. Calm denial. That was his mistake. Her hand rose, and Aisha moved. Back in the present, Mrs. Kemi's smile thinned. "You will regret this," she said. Aisha met her eyes, steady, unmoved. Behind them, Tunde took one step forward. Then another voice cut through the room. Calm, measured, dangerous. "Is this how we treat workers here?" Mrs. Adebayon, board member, major investor, stood near the entrance. Mrs. Kemi's wrist slipped free. Mrs. Kemi Lawal recovered quickly, too quickly. By the time Mrs. Adebayon finished her sentence, Kemi had already rearranged her face. Shock softened into wounded dignity, anger tucked neatly behind poise. "This is a misunderstanding," she said calmly, adjusting her blouse. "I was only trying to discipline a thief." The word thief hung in the air. Ibrahim flinched. Aisha didn't move. Tunde finally spoke. "What exactly is happening here?" Kemi turned to Tunde instantly, voice gentle now. "My love, a laptop went missing. I was handling it." Handling it. That phrase had buried many complaints. But Mrs. Adebayon didn't buy it. "Handling it by raising your hand?" she asked. Kemi laughed lightly. "You know how these things can be exaggerated." She looked around the lobby, guards, cleaners, receptionists, daring anyone to contradict her. No one spoke.
They never did.
This was the woman the public adored. She funded scholarship dinners, donated generators to hospitals, posted smiling photos beside CEOs and pastors. But inside the building, her kindness stopped at the glass doors. She withheld salaries to teach discipline, called grown men boys, reminded women their jobs were favors, and when anyone pushed back, she smiled and whispered, "Remember who I'm marrying." Aisha had noticed the pattern within a week, how voices dropped when Kemi entered, how cleaners avoided eye contact, how guards stood straighter, afraid of being noticed. Once, she watched Kemi force a pregnant receptionist to stand through an entire briefing. "Pregnancy is not a disability," she had said. No one intervened. Aisha clenched her jaw and looked away. That day, she almost quit. Back in the lobby, Mrs. Adebayo turned to Tunde. "Have you ever checked the security footage?" she asked. Kemi stiffened. "There's no need for that," she said quickly. "I already—" "Pull it," Mrs. Adebayo insisted. Silence fell again. A technician moved toward the control room. Kemi's nails dug into her palms. Minutes later, the screen lit up. Footage rolled. The laptop hadn't been stolen. It had been misplaced, left inside a meeting room by a senior manager. The timestamp proved it. A murmur rippled through the staff. Kemi's face drained slowly. "This doesn't change the disrespect," she snapped, turning on Aisha. "She grabbed me in public." Tunde looked at Aisha for the first time. "Why did you do it?" he asked. Every eye followed. Aisha swallowed. "He was scared," she said simply, "and you don't hit people who can't defend themselves." The room went still. That wasn't rebellion, that was morality. Mrs. Kemi laughed again, but this time it cracked. "See," she said sharply, "this is insubordination. If you allow this, you lose control." Mrs. Adebayo's gaze hardened. "Or," she replied, "we regain our humanity." Before Kemi could respond, the glass doors slid open. An older man rushed in, breathless, panicked. Her uncle. "Kemi," he said urgently, "not again, please." The room stilled. Tunde frowned. What does he mean, not again? The uncle froze. He looked at Kemi, then at the screen, then whispered words that changed everything. "This is how it started last time." Kemi's composure shattered. Kemi's uncle looked around the lobby like a man who had already said too much. His chest rose and fell unevenly. "Sir," Tunde said slowly, every word controlled, "what do you mean by last time?" Kemi turned on her uncle sharply. "Uncle Kunle, stop talking." But fear had already taken over him. "No," he said hoarsely, "I won't do this again. I won't protect you again." The word "again" landed heavily. Aisha felt a chill crawl up her spine. Mrs. Adebayo folded her arms. Protect her from what? Silence. Then the uncle spoke, voice trembling. 6 years ago, there was a girl, an intern. Kemi said, "You promised." "She was accused of stealing," he continued, ignoring her. "Just like today." Tunde's face tightened. "The accusation was false," the uncle said. "We knew it was false." A low murmur spread across the lobby. Aisha felt her throat dry. "She was young," the uncle went on, "brilliant, from a poor home. Her future depended on that placement." He swallowed hard. Kemi said the girl embarrassed her in front of guests, that she needed to be taught a lesson. Kemi screamed, "That's not how it happened," but no one stopped him. She forced management to announce the accusation publicly. The girl was marched out of the building. Mrs. Adebayo closed her eyes. "And after?" she asked quietly. The uncle's voice broke. "The girl went home in shame. Her school suspended her. Her family turned on her." He paused, fighting tears. 3 months later, she jumped from a hostel balcony.
The lobby went dead silent. No gasps, no whispers, just shock. Aisha's knees almost buckled. Someone had died, not because of theft, but because of power. Tunde stepped back as if struck. "You knew?" he asked Kemi. Kemi's eyes were wild now. She was weak, she spat. People like that don't survive pressure. The words hit harder than a slap. That's when Aisha understood. This woman wasn't cruel by accident. She was dangerous by choice. Mrs. Adebayo's voice was steel. Why wasn't the case reported? The uncle wiped his face. "We buried it, paid settlements, threatened witnesses." He looked at Tunde. "Your name was used without your knowledge." Tunde's hands curled into fists. Aisha watched him, not as a billionaire, not as a fiancé, but as a man realizing his life had been built beside a monster.
Before anyone could speak again, the gate alarm rang, sharp, loud, urgent. Every head snapped toward the entrance. A security officer rushed in. "Sir, there's a man outside." "What does he want?" Tunde asked. The officer hesitated. "He says he's here for the woman who destroyed his sister." Kemi staggered back, her face drained of color. She whispered one word, barely audible. "No." Mrs. Adebayo looked at her coldly. "Who is he?" Kemi's lips trembled. "The brother," she said. Aisha's heart pounded. The past hadn't stayed buried. It had come knocking. The glass doors slid open slowly, not dramatically, not angrily, just enough for the man outside to step in. Adebola Ogun was not tall, not muscular, not threatening at first glance, but grief had carved something permanent into his face. His eyes were calm in the way people get when rage has already burned itself out. He didn't look at Kemi immediately. He looked at Tunde. "Are you the owner of this building?" he asked quietly. "Yes," Tunde replied, voice tight. "Then you should hear why I'm here." Kemi tried to move. Aisha stepped sideways without thinking, just one step, enough to block her, not aggressively, not loudly, just present. Kemi hissed, "Move!" Aisha didn't. The room noticed, again. Adebola turned his gaze to Kemi now. "She was my younger sister," he said evenly. "Her name was Funke." No one interrupted him. "She wanted to be an architect. She used to draw buildings on scrap paper because we couldn't afford sketchbooks." His jaw tightened. "I got that internship and she called me crying with joy, said her life was finally changing." Kemi's breathing grew shallow. Adebola continued. "Then, one afternoon, she called me again. This time, she couldn't breathe." He swallowed. "She said a woman in power accused her of stealing, made her kneel, made people laugh." Kemi shook her head violently. "That's not—" Mrs. Adebayo cut in sharply. "Be quiet." "She came home a different person," Adebola said. "Stopped eating, stopped talking, stopped dreaming." He looked around the lobby. "And when she died, everyone said pressure kills people. But pressure doesn't name itself." His eyes locked on Kemi. "People do." The silence was unbearable. Tunde stepped forward slowly. "Kemi," he said, voice hollow, "tell me the truth." For a moment, it looked like she might cry. Then her face hardened. "She was weak," Kemi snapped. "I didn't push her." A murmur of disbelief spread. Adebola nodded once like he had expected that answer. "Then I'm not here for revenge. I'm here for justice." Mrs. Adebayo turned to the security head. "Call the police." Kemi screamed, "You can't! You all benefited from me!" That's when her tablet lit up. A notification. Unlocked. Aisha saw it first. Then Tunde did. Messages scrolled across the screen. Cold,
calculated, plans, threats, mockery. A voice note played accidentally, loud enough for the lobby to hear. Kemi's voice laughing. "I just need the ring. Once I'm Mrs. Lawal, nobody touches me." Tunde closed his eyes. When he opened them, something was gone. "Kemi Lawal," he said quietly, "this engagement is over." Her knees buckled. Police sirens wailed in the distance. As officers led her away, Kemi locked eyes with Aisha. Hatred, shock, fear. Aisha didn't smile. She didn't gloat. She simply stood. Weeks later, the office felt different, quieter, safer. Investigations reopened, apologies issued, changes made. No grand ceremony, no viral praise. Aisha returned to her post at the gate one morning. Same uniform, same salary, different air. As Tunde walked past, he paused. "My late wife used to say," he told her softly, "the bravest people don't raise their voices." Aisha nodded. She didn't ask for thanks. She didn't ask for reward. She just opened the gate and let the truth walk through.
Thanks for watching. Please tell us where you are watching from.